welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions. I'm here, as always, with the fabulous Coach Drew. How are you going today?
I'm doing well. I'm coming off of a long week of reality television, so it's nice to have a break for the last few days.
Well, we're here to talk about the finale of the Traitors. How good was that,
Season,
Scottish?
well, it
Season
was all
4.
right.
Oh, hey.
It
All
was all
right.
right.
Like to see you try. Like to see you try,
No,
sir.
I I wouldn't. No. Yeah, it was definitely a season. I enjoyed it more than it seems like a lot of people online did.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, and
Oh,
and it's weird because I understand how frustrating the Faithfuls were this season. Like, let's just call it how it is. The Faithfuls were very all over the place. We've talked a lot about it, and everyone has. But I don't think that should take away from what was happening, and because I feel like we were still getting a lot of entertainment. Yeah,
mm,
once like Michael and everyone was gone, it did kind of become like, who are we actively rooting for or against outside of Rob? And for
yeah.
me, it was always Tara, and she made it about as close as you can get. So
Well, exactly. I mean, she will get to it, but she made it to the final bow pretty much. So second to last person gone. Well, let's start at the top. Were you surprised at the murder that Mark was murdered and not Johnny?
yeah, I think I sat here last week and said I'd do whatever
It's
if
funny.
Johnny or Tara were not the person taken out. Um, so yeah, I was very shocked by that. I don't think we got a lot of rationale behind it. I know we got a quick like summary, but we didn't really get much in the reason why they eventually went that route. Obviously, it doesn't really matter at this point because how the game turns out. Like, they could have honestly gotten rid of anyone there, and it probably still
Mm.
ends up being the same way. But yeah, I was very shocked. I thought for sure that it would be Johnny or Tara, but specifically Johnny.
Well, for me, I thought that a Johnny murder would align with Eric being the target of banishment by Rob. I didn't think Rob and Eric's loyalty would go so far. Well, Rob's
Me?
to Eric. I think last week I was speculating a Johnny murder and then, oh, well, it must be Eric sort of banishment
Yeah,
because I just assumed that Rob would turn on Eric a lot sooner than he did.
I thought so too. I thought for sure that Eric would just be that final person taken out, the final banishment
Mm,
before they move on. But the way that it played out almost made it better because you got to see the two people that were so loyal to Rob for however long both eat it at the end of the game, like back to back. So I think that was therapeutic for me, I guess. The other thing was as like this is I know this is jumping ahead by a lot, but there was still this thing in the back of my mind of what if Eric's the only winning trader? That it then it becomes a wet part of the season. Then it becomes okay, yeah, I can see what you're hating. If
wah,
Eric had been the
wah,
only
wah.
trader and won the game, yeah, I probably wouldn't have watched the reunion.
That would have just been absolutely devastating. And, I think maybe Rob had the smarter idea take two people who are very loyal to him to the very end. And then it's like all your ducks are in a row or fish in a barrel or whatever that
Yeah,
says.
and you know, going to the round table for just a second. Yeah, I'm anxious watching it because it is okay. There is a potential that it goes 3-2 the other way, and if that happens, that is I guess I won't say cherry on top, but like this is now a really great finale. If
Yeah.
all of a sudden the game flips in the final seconds, um, so for it to not happen that way, it still leads me to believe it's a good finale. It would have been great if that had flipped, but hindsight and all that.
Well, exactly. Now, what I thought was interesting as well is that in Mark's confessional, he guesses Eric, and I'm not sure if he's blatantly said Eric before. And Johnny also was correct in thinking Eric and Rob, and with Tara as well. But it was a little bit too late to be effective.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Or do you think it's too late, or do you think Rob just was just too good with his charisma?
Both, because I actually no, I'd probably be charisma, because it's not too late, because there is a way that you can allegedly you can get more to flip. Now that's not going to happen, but like there is a world where she could potentially flip. So it's not too late, because there is still a chance here for you to do something. And it's not like they just haven't been talking to her all season and then all of a sudden try to talk to her. They've been talking to her. She just hasn't heard any of it. And in this episode, it's like, okay, she's at least coming off as receptive. And even when she turns out she wasn't lying to Eric, but when she lies to Eric and Rob immediately is like, oh, she's lying to Eric, I immediately clocked that. It's like, this man is playing on such a higher level than everybody left in the game at this point, and has been for a while, that he can immediately clock something. Now, obviously, Maura ends up voting with Eric, so it doesn't ultimately matter. But yeah, it has to be Rob's charisma, because like I said, there is a world where she flips and it goes 3-2 the other way. And then we have potentially a totally different set of circumstances for that last, portion of the game.
Well, I also, speaking of Rob, I just recall that Mucky wanted me to say he thinks Rob's the best winner since Sari.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's... Yeah, I don't think that's I think the argument that I've seen is like people trying to compare who did it better, and for me, it is Sari, because she still didn't catch any votes during her season. She didn't catch any votes during her season, so that's why I would always keep her ahead of Rob, because as much as Rob steamrolled his way through the season, people did clock him at some point.
Yes,
people really never clocked Sari as anything other than the most loyal faithful ever, which is why those two people were very butthurt when it turned out that she wasn't.
Well, do you think they played a similar game? Do you think the strategy was pretty similar?
Absolutely. Charisma, like you said, is just no one wants to believe that your best friend. It'd be the same thing as if let's say Tara was a traitor and Johnny goes all the way to the end with her. Johnny's never going to target Tara because that is his best friend. There's no way that he's ever going to think this. And what Sari and Rob did was convince everyone, hey, we're your best friend. There's no way we can do this. There's no way it could be us, only for it to be them. Now, what Sari did better was she did it longer. And not that that's like so much better than what Rob did, but like that is why I put her ahead of him, because of that one aspect of it.
Well, I think also she didn't have the Love Island sort of persona to back her up as well. She wasn't going around shirtless like he was.
No, but she had this is season 1 of Traitors. Like I would say that like I don't remember the cast top to bottom, but like as far as personalities in that season, like who might know you, I think she had either just come off of Big Brother or she was ready to go. I think she was just come off of Big Brother. Like people knew who Sari was, and people knew that she was a survivor legend and everything. So like, yeah, she didn't have the I'm gonna walk around with my shirt off and my overalls or anything, but she still has the oh my gosh, I'm playing in this game with Sari thing. That everyone's Donna Kelsey at that point. Donna's being starstruck the entire time. That's everyone is looking at Sari as, oh man, she is that nice. Oh my goodness, I want to be her friend. There's no way they make her a traitor, because that's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, I've got an interesting hypothetical for you since you brought it up. Tara or Johnny, and not both, as a traitor. Do you think that either of them is capable of lying to the other person enough to not draw attention to themselves?
I don't know. I don't know. That would have been a fun dynamic to see, if just because of how loyal those two were to each other, to like hear confessionals like, oh man, I really feel bad that I'm playing Johnny are playing Tara. I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have told on each other because obviously it's against the rules. But I do think that the other person potentially clocks it because they are so close. It'd be, you pick up on people's tails if you're around them long enough. And like they were just in Europe, for the last few weeks. That seems like they spend a lot of time together. They would pick. And one of my favorite things of the reunion is the random cuts to them whenever anything crazy would happen. Yeah, exactly.
They're the same.
Yeah, they're the same. So it would be, even if one of them clocked the other, I don't think that they would try to get rid of them until the end, where it's like, hey, I know that you are like, I have to do this now.
That would be an interesting dynamic if they could keep it going, or if others would clock the clocking, so to speak.
And I don't know who brought it. It had to have been you, or maybe I was talking to one of my friends. It would be interesting to have, a season where not even blood versus water, just two people that actually know each other, like best friends, sisters, whatever, and are both traitors. Because I'm almost convinced that no one in the house would believe that both people were. But also would be a fun little dynamic of, how do we play this off? And so, yeah, that's just fantasy world in my head.
Well, let's get to the mission. And oh my gosh, I think this show, and specifically Traitors US so far, has had my favorite missions out of any show.
Yeah, this season specifically, I've really enjoyed most of them. This one, I think because it was the finale, I just kind of wanted to get through the challenge. I didn't really care about what was happening. I don't even remember how much money was on the line. I just remember,
I never pay attention to the money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The two of them hugging in the helicopter, the looks they were giving each other, and then Rob jumping out of the helicopter. And that's pretty much like all that I remember / cared about it, because in that moment it's like, I know we've got a lot to cover here, and it didn't drag on or anything.
No,
but yeah, I was checked out during that. I didn't care.
This season has been enough to make me interested in challenges, and me, sometimes I vague out during challenges, just as I vague out during friends and family letters from home, stuff like that. But yeah, I loved the challenge. I loved the chopper aspect. I always love when they have to guess or remember something from the season.
Yes.
And yes, I don't really care about the money that much, because all through the season, when you've got people like Dorinda and Lisa Rinna, I don't go, oh, I hope they get the money. The money is inconsequential to me. It is just, the money is a plot device at this point to get to what really matters.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think me and you have talked about it before with Survivor, as far as like, would you rather have the money or would you rather win? It's like, well, in Traitors, I think I would rather just win. I would do that for free. Like I would do Traitors for free.
Yeah. Which, I would like to hope that if someone like Dorinda Medley won, she would donate the winnings to charity. But, and I do appreciate Rob promising Maura a Birkin bag.
And they're giving him shit for like, oh yeah, the cheapest ones are like $5,000 or $10,000 or something. I'm like, I've never seen one of these bags before, but I believe these people.
Oh, I imagine Rinna would have a collection of $30,000 Birkins in her closet. So, anyway, we get to the first round, the final round table, where we won't find out if the person banished is a traitor or not. We won't have the circle of truth or whatever it's called. And yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. It really did come down to Maura and the effect that Rob was able to, the power of influence that he had on her. There's skill there, but there was also, it felt like, a lot of luck as well for Rob.
He admits to both of those during the reunion. And I do agree. Like once again, there is a world where Mora could flip. There is, and I don't know how much was not shown, but it did seem like she was at least putting thought to maybe Tara and Johnny are right. Maybe Rob or Eric are. But at that point, I think she had already made her bed of, I've said I'm riding with these people, and you can't blame her for it. It's similar to like in Survivor season where someone doesn't cut a person they need to cut to get to the end and win, and then they get to the end and get destroyed. It's like, yeah, but also this was probably your best chance at this, so why wouldn't you take that route? And I mean, she does make it to the end. She makes it to final two, so we can't really knock her for the only. So because then if Rob does go, who's to say that Tara and Johnny don't just try to get rid of the other two and just win it for themselves?
Well, that's right. And I think it was really, the power of influence. Tara was making she was nearly there. Well, according to the edit, she was really nearly there with Maura, according to Maura's confessionals as well. So it was really just who had the stronger pull in the end. And I think you're right. I think Maura's history with Rob, she was like, well, I've come this far. I kind of have to keep on this track. Do you think a more seasoned gamer would perhaps not take that loyalty as much into consideration?
Yes, but it's not. Oh, I guess most of the gamers this season got taken out because of other things. So, but yes, I think that if we had, I don't know, even if we had like Sandra or somebody here again, a player like anyone from the season 50 cast, probably. I feel like at a certain point they would do something. They would either say, "Hey, this is starting to not add up. Let me do something," because that's what they have built their reality TV careers on, is clocking that kind of stuff, or at least somewhat being aware of what's happening around them. I think, and I know they brought up during the reunion that it was just like a flirtmance within the realms of the show, but like there's no real thing going on. And I do probably believe that, but she was, for lack of a better word, I won't even say that. She was very smitten. I'll keep it PG and say she was very smitten with everything that Rob was doing and saying. I mean, when he's grabbing her by the face and saying, "Hey, we're gonna win this. We're gonna win this," it's like, yeah, he's talking right to your face. Like you can't help but think, okay, he can't be lying to me because this is going overboard. It's not, but
Well, I think he was probably quite honest in his excitement of like, if I'm with you, I'm going to win this.
I'm going to win.
We've got a few messages from Mucky that he'll have my head if I don't show them. While this season had a traitor win, you're both faithfully, amazingly, stupendously, fabulously winners in my eyes. Well, there you go. That's lovely. And that's the wrong you're.
That is true.
I think this season did lack a gamer in the turret to have some spice towards the end.
But Rob was a gamer. Like Rob was a gamer.
He played like a gamer.
This season, like I don't know if I texted somebody else. I'm like, I need to see Rob play Big Brother. Like I don't really need to play Survivor. But like if I could see Rob play Big Brother, I think that would be right
I agree.
in his wheelhouse. And I do think that he could do very well in it because of how easy he made it look this season.
I agree. Maki also says, one gamer, one housewife, and one normal person Love Island is a perfect trio, in my opinion. So, Maki, which gamer would you have thrown in? I would have loved to see Rob go further.
Both the Robs in there, and I mean, either of the housewives that we had. I think that
Rinna.
Like I miss our OG Traitors. They were a lot of fun. And I thought this was the season that all three just make it to the end because they just felt like they were just, and they brought up during the reunion, this is the farthest that all three have ever made through 4 seasons of the show. It just sucks that the wheels kind of fell off when they did.
Wrong. Love Candace as a traitor, but I wanted to put up Rob C or Tiffany. I agree. I Rob C because I would have liked to have seen more of him. I also think Jam Jam, as I think he played an interesting game because it was almost like a housewife kind of game rather than a gamer game, and so I think it would have been interesting him as a traitor.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like he's gotten along very well with the Housewives post show.
Yeah,
what they were talking about during the reunion. Yeah, I think that next season, so next reality TV people season, because I know they're doing normies. They're doing a normie season, and then I don't hate doing what Mucky just said. But then we get robbed of someone like potentially Rob is now a household name for reality TV people who may have only known him from Love Island beforehand because of how he played this game. To the fact where people potentially want to see or are comparing him to Suri. Like, after one round or one game of social strategy. I understand that Love Island has like voting and everything, but like it's not the same. So I think that we rob ourselves of potentially getting people that Phaedra is another example of just like Phaedra was, I would say she's probably top 5 traders, and as far as US traders are concerned, like Phaedra was great TV. Even though Lisa was not the best, she was a fun time. I mean, we talked a lot about the dinner party, but it was what it was, and I do think that Jam Jam's exit, and like that's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy about having certain people play as traders. The more and more weeks pass by, the more I realize that was actually like it's not the greatest episode in the history of the show, like Alan was saying, but that the dinner party scene is something that'll probably linger with me for a long time because of how corny and over the top it was.
Well, I think that's what perhaps, and sorry for the noise that my cat has a pen lid. I think the thing that Traitors US especially, and the Traitors franchise, but especially Traitors US, because I am a tragic for Traitors US, is the theater of it.
Yes.
You don't get that in Survivor as much, just the theater. You never have someone being dragged out of a tribal council, Yeah. And I just think it's just so much fun to have Jam Jam being dragged out as he's dying.
It's Lisa.
It's Lisa. It's fabulous. I also, gosh, Mucky's saying a lot of things, but something that if you want to have the most problematic season of all time,
I don't
Rappaport and Colton and a Traitors.
I don't think that's happening, and I've got when we get to the reunion, I've got opinions, and then I'll probably just leave it alone. I'll never have to speak about this man ever again. But Colton,
And we've got to get back to it, Mucky, but you are saying some really interesting things. For US, I heard they want Suri, Bosterov, Phaedra, Peter. Which Peter? Peter. Anyway.
To come back, but there's so many lists.
But there's so many lists out there. It seems like an all-star season will be happening. Would an all-star season work, or is it just going to be just a bunch of really tense people?
I mean, you could have an all-star season and just have a whole bunch of tense people. It's entirely possible. And I think because of how popular the show has steadily gotten throughout the last 4 seasons in the States, that they kind of have to. They kind of have to have a returnee season. Soon is relative. But I wouldn't be shocked within the next 2 to 3 years that they do one. And I think that they have a very solid casting pool of people because the problem is because it's Traitors and they have 20 plus people on it. There is a lot of cannon fodder players that have played all 4 of these seasons. So when you cast a cast of, let's say, 23, you want to make sure that whoever your cast is, people aren't sitting at home saying, who's that?
Yes. Well, Peter Pilot Pete.
Pilot
Pete
from The Bachelor.
Oh, from The Bachelor.
Yeah. he was the one that like he got cut like pretty middle of the game, but like he understood what was going on. Like he was coming up with a lot of fun strategies of how to figure. He was a faithful.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
one thing I'm thinking of a
Pilot Pete
traitor.
was fun. Yeah, Pilot Pete was fun.
Well, maybe we need to do a fantasy cast of a returning season.
Let's go after season 5. I feel like there's still. I don't think we can make a cast of 23 right now. Like
No.
I don't think so. I think that we would probably have.
We'd have a lot of filler.
10. Huh?
We'd have a lot of filler.
Yeah, we'd have a lot of filler, and like
Yeah.
I don't want Traitors All Stars to have filler. Survivor All Stars definitely didn't. Like there were people that we were kind of like, oh okay, oh Amber, okay, but like even then, it's not like Amber was a who is that from Australia?
Yeah,
I was like,
no.
oh, okay, you guys picked Amber. That's weird, but like cool, I remember her. So I don't want Traitors to run into the opposite of that, where it's like I don't remember the other traitor from season 1 that wasn't Sari or now I'm forgetting. Oh my gosh, who was the other? It was Sari, somebody, and then some normie, and I cannot. Oh, it was the old dude from Big Brother.
Oh my gosh,
it was
I
old
have
dude from
no
Big
recollection.
Cody, I think it was Cody.
I'm glad you remember.
Okay,
you remember.
Anyway.
Well, before we move on, Mucky also says Drew can grab my face and say we're going to win, and I'll believe every damn letter. Yeah. Well, there you go. You might have the same influence as Rob. Oh, wait a minute. He's also said, off the top of my head, I would love Sari, Phaedra, Pilot Pete, Rob M, Danielle, Carolyn, Tom Sandoval, and Gabby. Yes. We want to bring Michael Rappaport back and Colton.
Once again, like this cast is like that's never going to happen. That's the thing. It's like sure, they're never going to cast Colton again. They're never going to cast Michael again. But they're like there are certain people that they just don't want the negative publicity, and I'm sure they got a lot of negative publicity specifically from those two this season. And the fact that Colton got so much screen time during the reunion was weird. The fact that Ron and Rob Sesternino got like no screen time during the reunion was also weird. But I'm not a TV producer, so
I would like to see Rinna come back, but as a faithful. It was fun to see her as a traitor, but the issue was I don't think she could handle it. I think that was the case. Her as a faithful screaming at who she thinks would be a traitor with nothing to lose would be fabulous television. I just don't think she knew how to be at a round table and flat out lying.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about Rinna that we see on all the housewives and everything. She will scream across the table. She will break a glass, but that is because she thinks she's right and telling the truth. And what we missed out on this season was she wasn't telling the truth. She didn't think she was in the right. So she couldn't push her agenda on everyone like she could if she was a faithful, because then she'd be like, well, I think Colton's a traitor. So I'm going to sit here and scream at everyone on this table until he is banished. And I think that would have been a better show, to be honest.
Yeah, and they could do what, I mean, Dorinda was a faithful both times, but like, just do what they did with Dorinda. Just, you know what? Please come on back. Like, I
don't think Dorinda got drunk enough. I think that was the issue. No. I'm rewatching her on Real Housewives of New York. When she's hammered, that's when you get the over the top Dorinda. And I just don't. I think this show has a wonderful duty of care that they didn't seem to be quite as drunk as other shows have their contestants. So well, we've got Mucky's dying on the Colton hill. I think production did like Colton on how hard he was playing. It's great having players play hard. Obviously, he hasn't done great stuff outside of the game. But in the game, I appreciated how he was playing because I always love good TV for good or bad. That's true.
Yeah, it's true, but once again, the negative publicity that they got this season because of the two of them. Like, there was I've seen so many videos of Colton just I'm so sad that this is all happening. It's like, dude, who cares? Um, and the same with it. Like, Michael kind of said his piece and just let it go and until the reunion. But once again, I don't think that they want that type of, because we are still in the infancy stages of the show has taken, like, the show is, but
4
you
seasons
don't
in.
want to, like,
It's not that old.
yeah, you don't want to jeopardize, you don't want to isolate people from watching it
You
because
don't
they
want
have
scandal.
such a diverse. Yes.
You don't want cancellation. You don't want scandal. You want Lisa Rinna screaming at someone across a round table. You want Colton not drawing attention to the shitty things he's done off screen. Maybe casting him was a mistake, but someone who could play that hard game without having the scandal behind.
Yeah, like Pilot Pete, which you have to go back and watch the season. But
I have to. Oh my God.
Like Pilot Pete,
and I'll stand here and I'll go, oh my God.
But like, there have been players every season that have come out of whatever show they come from before, whatever they did in their former life, to become game players in this, or at least larger characters in this. And so, you don't have to cast specifically these two. You don't have to cast controversial people knowing that they'll probably play hard, when you can cast non-controversial people that we have a good track record of turning these people into game players. Rob is now the biggest example of,
I didn't clock him when he was cast.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
No.
And when he became a traitor, it's like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, I was like, oh, brah.
Yeah, and then he quickly turned into my favorite person outside of Tara, and weird randomly. So yeah, I do think there is a way you can do this without casting people that are going to bring negative attention to the show.
Exactly. Now we should get to the final round table, the final 2 votes. It wasn't a shock to me that Tara was the target of that first vote. Was that surprising to you? Was that what you expected to be the plan?
Sadly, yes.
It seems like that was what Rob's whole plan was going along. Yeah, obviously, so he can shoot fish in a barrel, essentially.
And that's what he spent the entire finale doing, because he didn't catch a vote at that final round table when it should have been. Like, as much as I didn't want Eric to win, I'm like, well, if they got rid of Rob at this round, and he didn't even catch a vote. So at this point, it was kind of, is it going to be Eric and Rob, or if it's going to just be Rob? And in my head, it's like, it has to be just Rob. You cannot let this Eric guy win the game. So yeah, when Tara goes, my last moment of fear in this episode is when they do say, we're going to vote again.
Yeah.
And Eric votes for Rob. And it's like, oh no! What if this is finally the point where Moira decides, oh yeah, it's Rob, and flips the vote on Rob? I would have lost my shit, in a bad way. I would have been really pissed off.
Well, it's sort of, that was a close call, because Eric threw in the green fire. So Eric clearly thought, it's me and Rob are going to split the cash. Brilliant. Which is probably what Rob was telling him this whole time. Even though in his confessionals, Rob was kind of clear that he wanted to split with Eric. He wasn't telling us anything different. Whether they didn't show it just for the fun of it all.
Yeah.
But the look of betrayal on Eric's face was a really dangerous giveaway, I felt. And I agree with you. That was, I had because if Maura clocked, you can't fake a look of betrayal like that. And that betrayal only comes from, you and I have talked about splitting the money. What are you doing?
Yeah. And thankfully Mora was once again smitten
Yeah.
with Rob, that like it was in hindsight, yeah, she was always going to vote Eric. But and they did, this episode is so well like where it keeps you on the edge of your seat,
Mm,
because like there were two times where I thought, oh man, Mora's actually going to flip. And
mm.
so when the name comes up and it is Eric, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But oh my God, what if she had voted Rob? But yeah, you know, once again, at that point, it becomes academic. It's more of what's the reaction going to be when it turns out that Rob is a
Oh, I
traitor.
was so excited for that.
And I sat up in bed because I was watching it laying down.
Yeah.
I sat up because like I need to know, like I need to catch this in all of its glory.
Oh,
What was your when her face did what it did? What did you think?
she just froze. And like she said in the reunion, I was expecting you to go, kidding. Uh, it just goes to show that she was, to the end, had no suspicion. She was not like, oh, I knew it. I knew, like, it was, yeah. And now she's like, you'll never get a girlfriend because you're a
Yeah,
really good liar.
fast forward. Oh, Rob, you have a girlfriend? Yeah, I've been dating for a couple months.
And
You know
it's
what?
a
And
shame as well. Yeah, it's a shame because they were so close, and it's not, not that I was shipping any sort of romance or anything. I couldn't care less, but you it is a game, but they do trust each other.
Yeah,
and it is brutal. It's brutal.
it's brutal. It was. And the thing about that is, and this is I will give her more credit for this. Once she got over the initial shock, she didn't try to say, "Oh man, like you're a shit human being." She was like, "No,
No,
I
she
get it.
was a
I would
good
have done the same
sport,
thing." She was a good sport about it. Like I would have done the
but I
same
want a
thing
bag.
too. But yeah, and I'm upset. I'm this, that, and the other. But like she kind of just sat there and was like, you know what? I get it. You have to do what you have to do, and that's something that once again I will always go back to season one. Those two people to this day hate Suri.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for what?
Yeah,
Like, would you not have done that if you were a traitor? Like, come on.
that's the thing.
So
You have to be a good sport about it at the end. You have to go, oh, this is a brutal game. That was awful. I might need a minute. Like Mora took a minute. And then she was an excellent sport at the reunion, I thought. She was terrific.
yeah.
I think
And
I do feel like everyone was a good sport at the reunion. Was there anyone that you thought was unnecessarily bitter?
it seemed like Candace, like
Oh,
Candace kept bringing up the whole, oh yeah, did you guys cheat? Like, I heard you guys cheated, because she has been doing a lot of exit press where she said they cheated, and I'm like, I don't think that Rob was cheating, and I don't, and
no.
what?
No.
Not Colton's sitting there saying no, like Rob never straight up said anything like that. He did say he thinks you're a traitor, but like that's that doesn't mean anything other than hey, he thinks you're a traitor. That doesn't.
Yeah.
So the fact that she was still dwelling on that, it's like I don't think they're out here breaking the rules like that, and I don't, because they're being filmed. Like Rob said, we're being filmed 24/7. I don't see a world.
It'd be hard to get something through like that.
Yeah.
I think also the context of the Housewives, and that this is an Andy Cohen show, and you've got Andy Cohen sitting there hosting a reunion. I do think the Housewives do have a character for a reunion, and that is to create these talking points, to create a little bit of tension and call people out. And so when I didn't believe that for a second, but I did see that sort of format coming through. That, I mean, the reunion, I don't know if you've ever watched a Real Housewives reunion,
No.
but it is the exact same format where they have, such and such in Ohio says that blah, 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 blah. It is, here's a package of you doing da, 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 da. Let's all watch it. So I think it's very easy for the housewives to slip into that format and bring up whatever for the sake of bringing up whatever.
And I think that knowing that, that would explain why Michael was being like, he
Yeah.
was being like, he wasn't like, he was being Michael, but he was being a weird
He
type
was
of
being a
Michael.
housewife.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, I know he's a Housewives fan, so that actually makes sense why he was, because
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff he was saying and doing, it's like Johnny wasn't even trying to argue with you when you said the silver medal thing. Like that was,
Yeah.
I don't know where that art, and he's telling him to be quiet and all this other stuff. It's like, why?
The
Johnny
clip
just,
it thing, is that a housewife thing? I'm not even sure if I've seen where that comes from. Clip it.
yeah, and he said it because he said it to Portia too,
Right.
and I'm like, why are these two arguing? Like, this is, why are these people
That
arguing?
man he's so desperate to be a housewife.
I
So
know,
desperate.
I know. But you saying that makes that makes sense why he was acting the way that he was, because this is not Michael. This is
Yeah.
a warped version of Michael where
Let's create drama.
yeah.
Yeah.
When there's none, like he talked about the Colton thing. He said, "Hey, like I apologize. Like I reached out to him. Like he was talking about his rivalry with Jam Jam, and then things blew up with Johnny and Portia. It's like, why are you arguing with Johnny and Portia? Also, look up what medals Johnny Weir won before you say, hey, you
I
want
always thought he was a medalist as well. I no, that makes sense. I know Tara definitely won gold.
Yes.
But yeah,
Johnny
I
was
was
just
sure that
the
Johnny
bad
had
boy
won
in figure
some.
skating. He's just
I wouldn't go in public and die on the hill that he won something. I would check it before that.
Yeah. But yeah, the reunion. This is the first reunion that I have watched. I think period. I've watched clips from the other three.
I'll show you.
Because the first seasons, all I heard was everyone's upset with Cerise still. I'm like, okay, I don't really want to watch this. Seasons 2 and 3, yeah, I just watched highlights of, and then this one's like, no, I'm actually curious to see how people are responding to all of this. And it does seem like you said, mostly positive towards Rob. You kind of you can't hate it. You can't hate him. They're like, hey, raise your hand if you felt a type of way towards Rob at any point during the game. It's like in a positive way. And we have people raising their hands. Johnny's doing it off screen. That's it's the right type of winner with this cast, because the only people that are going to be overly upset are people that just don't understand the game. Like, I don't believe Rob came in thinking he was going to do it by himself.
No.
I do think that he played it round by round, and based off of his confessionals, which is all we have to go off of, it didn't seem like he was actively trying to do this. And I was sitting here every week saying, well, he's definitely going to cut Eric because he's just using Eric as a patsy. He's using Eric as a patsy. And like, he never actually says that once Eric becomes a traitor.
I think he was very good at being flexible and taking opportunities as they came up. I think that I don't think he had the grand plan from episode 1 in the turret, but I think he was really good at reading the room, reading people, taking opportunities, and making the right choices at the right time, but not sort of planning what he was going to do.
Yes. Yeah. He played it by ear. He took it round by round. And I think that's, obviously it worked for him in the end, but like, you don't want to write a blueprint of how you're going to play the game from beginning to end, because what happens if something what happens if you have to stray and you're just unprepared. And so I do feel like he just went with what he was given. When that moment with him and Candace in the kitchen after Lisa goes home, and Candace is straight up saying like, yeah, I don't trust you and you're gonna go home, and Rob's like, it's a game, like we can still work together, like it's not a big deal. I do believe that he was still trying to hey,
he was like, well, let's see what happens.
Just see what happens. We don't have to do this.
Yeah, which is potentially quite a good strategy to take on board for future players.
Yeah.
To really not plan it out like you can possibly do in Survivor and things like that. Just really take each day as it comes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll ask you all to subscribe for Cheeky Naughty Times. Next time the Traitors come on, we'll be there. We are also here this week. Next Tuesday for Australia and Monday nights for US, we are going live for Survivor 50. There will be an episode of Survivor 50 going up tonight, Australian time. And what else? An Australian Survivor on Friday nights, I think. All of this, check out our Instagram to keep up to date and to find out exactly when. But we have a lot going on, and Traitors will be back. And yeah, thank you so much, Drew, for coming on this Traitors journey with me.
Yeah, it's been a fun season. I'm glad that we were able to adjust once life took a turn. But yeah,
yes.
it's been great. It's been great being able to come on with y'all all season, and I'm looking forward to next.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always. Oh, look. Sorry. Dang, I just logged in. Look, we'll be done in a second. You just have to go right back to the start and watch. But thanks for joining us after the fact. And we'll see you all next season. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.